Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know my first video was pretty crappy, so today we're just gonna do a shop tour, show you the vehicles that I'm working on, some of the stuff that I've had for a long time, some of the stuff that I just got, and yeah, we're just gonna go around and check everything out. The first thing you see when you walk into my shop is some of our four-wheelers. We live in a county where you can legally ride these on the road as long as they're plated and insured. So we got a couple of them for when the friends come over and yeah, stuff like that. And we got the 1969 GMC 920. It's the same thing as a Chevy C20, which is a 3/4 ton pickup truck. 8 lug wheels. I've been working on this truck for the last probably month, really making it what I wanted it to be, and I just never had the time. But with this COVID shutdown, you know, I have all the time in the world. So we'll just do a quick walk around. I did the white walls. I'm going to do a tutorial on how to do those that are painted on white walls. I've experimented with different types of paint. You can see that some of them are different colors. I'm finding out which paint lasts the longest, and the paint that I found that really worked well was Trimclad Primer, the off-white, which I did on this front wheel. It's lasting pretty good. So this truck she's old, she's rusty, but it's the way I like it. Inside, we got a Grant steering wheel. I found this on Kijiji for like 30 bucks, and I bought a hub off Amazon for like 20 bucks. Bought the same steering wheel, just a little different styling for my other C10, and I paid good money for that. So yeah, in here we just put some lights in there just for shits and giggles, and redid the sound system. I'm pretty pissed. The guy before me, he actually cut this out to fit a single DIN. I wish it had a stock radio and I could have put a radio just in the glove box or got a retro style Bluetooth radio for it. But this is what I have right now. This truck, it's kind of odd. The guy that I bought it off of, I found this truck in someone's backyard here locally in Windsor, and I went and talked to him, and he didn't want to sell it, but he spent a lot of time just talking about the truck and all the work he did from it. It's originally from British Columbia. It was a quarry truck, so it was a work truck. This thing is beat, used, and abused. But the guy took the stock motor and he dropped in an Oldsmobile 307. It's from the mid-70s. It's got an Edelbrock carb on it. Everything's stock on it. It just has a straight pipe out the side. It's a good motor. It just doesn't make any power. With us towing the trailer with the bikes in the back and everything, we get about 5 to 7 miles a gallon, which is really, really, really brutal when you only have a 60-liter tank. But yeah, some of the things, I put a new heater core in it, did a fuel filter the other day, and kind of just cleaned up the engine bay, just got rid of useless stuff, put a horn on it. It's running a Turbo 400 trans. I don't know what the rear axle ratio is, but when I'm flying down the highway at 55 miles an hour, the thing's revving at 3,600. So she doesn't do very well. So in my first video, I showed you how to do these decals. I'm still waiting for this one to dry so I can sand it up. I built this just old school looking roof rack just because I had extra time. I put a spotlight on here, which originally was a 6-volt light, and I actually found a different lens for it for 12 volts. So I actually have it hooked up to the battery. It works, turns on. I redid the bed in here. It was all gray wood and just old and crappy. So what I did is I stained it and then just put a bunch of varnish on it. This truck is super solid. They don't make them like this anymore. But if you want to know some more about the truck, I can do a full breakdown. This is my wife's truck that I'm building up for her right now. It's an 86 C10. It has drop spindles, drop springs in the front, flip kit in the rear. I'm running AC Delco air shocks with an airlift compressor and gauge on the dash, so I can, when I load it up with the trailer and everything, that it doesn't squat too much and it doesn't bottom out. The compressor and everything's in that old Coleman cooler. Inside, same thing, Grant steering wheel, tack, bench seat. What I did do in the other truck is the bench seat sat too high and I was hitting my head off the roof all the time. I'm gonna have to do the same thing to this truck because I can't see my window banner. I can't see because my eyes are right there. I'm 6'4", so I'm a tall guy, so I'm gonna have to lower this seat as well, but we'll get to that. This truck has a Turbo 350 trans. It had a stock 305 in it that only had 86,000 kilometers on it. That's all the truck has on it, but it was just tired and it ended up blowing up. So what I got for it was, I found a guy that was selling this 305. Said it has a mild cam in it. It's got a Holley double pumper on it, and I'm just cleaning her up, put new seals on it, new water pump. I'm converting it to E-fans like I do all my vehicles. I just like E-fans over mechanical fans all day long. Yeah, should be a cool little truck when it's done. I still have to put drop shackles in it. I want to drop it in the rear another couple inches. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to cut out the bed. I'm going to box where the shackles are, and then I'm going to build a little shock, I don't know, riser, I guess to call it, a little cage for the shock to sit in so I can get the full travel of the shock when I'm airing it up and bringing it down, because if I drop it anymore, the shock will be fully compressed and it'll just be useless. Over here, we got my 99 Sportster. It's an 883. It has a 1250 kit on it. It has a stock HD carb that's been jetted, drag bars, lower shocks in the rear, you know, new pipes, heat wrapped. I bought this bike a while ago, and the guy said he built motorcycles. I found so much wrong with this bike. It leaked oil from everywhere. I know that's a Harley thing, they leak oil, but holy crap did it leak oil. So I did the rocker box seals on it. I had to put new exhaust gaskets on it, intake gaskets, rebuilt the carb. It has a new belt on it, and just fixed just random nuts and bolts. The fender wasn't held on very well. I don't know what he was trying to do, but the front of the fender sat about this far off the tire. The rear of the fender was like this high. So me and my wife went for a ride the first time. You can see there's still a mark in the tire. He had a bolt sticking out and it just shredded the tire. And that's little Mons. She's a little devil, but she lives in the shop. She's cute sometimes. But yeah, it's the Harley. And then we come back here, and I'm using back here for storage. I used to part out BMWs, so I have so many BMW parts that when I moved to this shop, I got rid of most of them, but I kept the stuff that I need to maintain my car. So this is a pretty special car to me. I bought this 6 years ago, and you know, there's not a nut or bolt on this car that I haven't touched. It's not the cleanest car, but it's a driver. You know, we drive this thing up to the cottage. We take it on vacation. We'll drive anywhere. So this car, I imported from Detroit, and I got it for really cheap, but the motor ended up blowing in it. I actually sold the car, and I was delivering it up to the Toronto area, and I had to stop somewhere for a couple hours. I forgot, my stupid ass, that I had just water in it. It was really cold out that day, so it froze. I got on the highway, overheated, and blew a head gasket. So this motor that I put in it is out of one of my old race cars, and this is the first engine I ever built. Built this about 9 years ago, and it is an M20. It's a 2.7 liter stroker. So this runs a 2.7 crank, super out of pistons and rods, 2.5 casting head, cam, dual valve springs, shims. It's got headers, the whole intake, computer, everything. It's set up to rev, in 7,500 RPMs, but I have a stock computer in it right now, so it's just a good driver. It gets good fuel mileage, sounds great, and I've never had an issue with this motor. When it was in my old track car, this car would live from 5 to 7,000 RPM all day long. The only problem I ever had was I was running old original rad hoses on it. I kept blowing them out, but other than that, it's been a good car. But yeah, this car is running on some BBS RS reps. You know, I'm not a real wheel guy. You know, every single one of these wheels is bent. I've put about 40,000, 50,000 kilometers on this car since I bought it. And, you know, I used to drive this thing to North Carolina. I've driven it all over. Our roads here in Canada are horrible. So they, you know, I don't really care. I'm not into the car thing that much anymore. It looks cool and it works. Inside this car, it's blue leather. The front seats are out of a 84 325 ES that I parted out. It's got an MTEC steering wheel, Getrag 260 trans, 373 LSD rear end. Just all the good bells and whistles. It has a crack-free dash, and you know, the back seat's pretty rough. It's just from people sitting in there, and you know, we used to go to the beach, people would jump in the car and it just tore the stitching on the leather. And my cat just follows me around all the time, just seeing what's up. These are 16 by 9s, and I'm running a 205 40/16. And I get about a season out of a set of tires just from Camberware. What I do is I just flip them on the wheels so that the Camberware is on the inside. It doesn't even touch the ground anymore. But it has full tread there, so that's good. Back here we have, these are all BMW parts. Everything I need to maintain this car for the rest of its life. I got a couple motors back there, 2 M20s, and I got a 305 small block that came out of the blue truck. So as you see back here, we have this little teardrop camper that we painted to match this truck, even though we've only pulled it with this truck a couple times before it blew up, but it still looks nice behind the other truck. One day I'll get completely into what that thing's about. It's pretty cool. We have a little generator that runs our AC unit, and everything else runs off 12-volt batteries that are in a little storage box at the back. It's got TV, surround sound. Back opens up. There's a full kitchen. It's awesome. This dirt bike's one of my buddies from the States. Blinky, miss you. It's kind of stuck here because he can't come here because COVID. I can't go there because of COVID. So it's his backup bike. It's just been sitting here. And this is also a 70, which I want to get one because they're so much fun when we go out in the bush and boot these around. Over here is my lawn tractor. I use this to actually cut my lawn because, you know, I'm not out there pushing because I'm a pretty lazy person when it comes to cutting lawns. So it's a 1980 Sears 11 horse. I made this little pipe for it with a little flapper. Thought it was pretty cool. As you notice, every single vehicle I have has yellow lights. I don't know what it is about yellow lights. I love it. So on my trucks, the police don't really bother me on the trucks, but my cars, they do. So on my cars, I just run them high beams, which is legal, fog lights, which is legal, and then my normal driving lights are white. On the 69, I went with a darker tint. It's actually the gold yellow. It gives it a very vintage look. And all the lights are vintage. And you can see down here, I got these vintage fog lights, which I actually found at Goodwill. It was like $4 for the pair, and they're the actual gold. Like, these aren't wrapped or anything. They're actually gold, and they're really, really nice. Yeah, all the four-wheelers all have yellow lights. I like to do this, so when I'm out in the bush with a bunch of people, I know who's on what quad, who's coming around. So all my machines have yellow lights. So over here, we got the toolbox, we got storage, all my paints, brake clean. People come over here and use my brake clean like I got a sponsorship. Yes, I get a good price on brake clean. I go about a case every month or two. I buy it by the case, but holy crap, when people come over, it's like those memes, the guys, when you're using shop supply, they're using a whole can to clean one little bolt. I'm like, yo, man. We got the fridge, you know, I keep that stocked with drinks. As you guys know, or may not know, I'm sober. I don't drink or do drugs. I've been clean for just over 3 years now. And, you know, to have all this is really a blessing, because before I was in such a bad place that I never really got to enjoy my time. I had things, I always did well, but I never got to enjoy it because I was always drinking all the time. Like, I couldn't drive any of my cars to a party or anything because, one, I don't want to leave them there, and two, I never drove drunk. So it's nice being sober. Over here, we actually have my snake. This was given to me by a friend of mine that I met in rehab. Her name is Victoria. And unfortunately, she passed away. And I have this snake, and I'm going to keep it for the rest of my life. And it's a boa restrictor. It's about 4.5 feet long right now. Eats large size rats right now, and I need to get a bigger enclosure. I made her this spot up top, but I need a tank twice as big as this, so she'll start growing bigger. Yeah, this is my shop. This is where all the magic happens. Yeah, we just like to have fun and work on old stuff because, you know, old stuff so much better than new stuff. I drive a newer BMW, and yeah, it is nice. It gets me to work and back, but you know, I'd rather drive one of these. So if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll answer any questions you have. If you want to see something more in detail, if you're more interested in something or want to know the specs on or how I did anything, I will gladly let you guys know. I'm new to this YouTube thing, don't know how to do it. My first video was very bad quality, so I'm going to upload it a different way this time, see if I can get a better quality. I don't know if people even watch me, but you should. We do a lot of cool stuff around here, and maybe one day this channel will turn into something very specific. I'll deal with one thing, or, you know, just fixing random rad stuff. So yeah, as they all say, hit that like button, subscribe, or share, or whatever you guys do. I don't know. Do something, because yeah, this shit's cool. All right, guys, have a good day.